Go.
You starting me?
I'm starting because I'm interviewing.
Oh, okay.
Hi everyone, this is Wouter from Cold Candy, and I'm here with
Andy,
from
Snow Camps Europe.
and what else? Weather forecast.
Snow report.
Okay.
But that's all under the Snow Camps Europe
Okay.
umbrella, isn't it? The snow report, of which will be out every Wednesday moving forward throughout the season. We've already done 2.
Don't look at it. Don't trust it. It's all.
Just make it up.
Yes.
I just make it up and
Same as the
same as the weather forecast people.
not really. There's a sign. Anyways, Andy, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about ski socks, Val. Something we've been wanting to talk about for a long time.
Yeah. So there's a start, because ski socks are very, very important.
Well, you wouldn't want to go skiing without a sock on.
No, you wouldn't want to go. Well, but no. First of all, well, to come to Andy. Yeah. So do ski socks keep you warm?
Of course they keep you warm.
Yeah.
Of course they keep you warm. Ski socks have got to keep you warm, and I'll tell you a little bit of how they keep you warm in a minute. But let me just show you this. What do you think that is?
It's water.
It's water, right? It's about 200 mils of water, and that is how much 1 foot loses per day without any activity. Right? Honestly, trust me. Okay.
What?
Your feet will sweat 200 mils of water just during you sitting around doing nothing. Once you start doing activity, and especially in a plastic boot,
Sorry, but
it can increase to 4 times the amount.
Where is this information from?
From a sock expert and sock designer who I spoke to several years ago.
He or she said 200 mil.
200 mil per foot of sweat, and that can go 4 times the amount depending on the exercise you're then doing, and obviously the temperature that you're in, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, and obviously if you've got your foot in a plastic boot. Now, you've asked one question, which is quite an important question. Do socks keep you warm? And of course they keep you warm. Why else would we wear them? But not all socks are going to keep you warm in a ski boot. So
it is true.
Of course it's true.
Freak.
Of course it's true. You think I'm making this up?
Yeah, about like blah, blah, blah. What?
So,
a half a pint of sweat daily on the what? No, hang on. No.
Per foot.
No. Oh, yeah. The feet having the highest concentration of sweat glands in the body. These glands can produce up to half a pint of sweat. Disgusting.
Exactly.
Disgusting.
And this is why socks are so important in a ski boot.
Yeah.
Right? So if you had only...
I didn't really. I didn't
know that, did you?
So much, no.
No. Right? And neither did I until I was told, right?
Ah, interesting.
But you don't want to wear a cotton sock inside a ski boot because cotton does not absorb moisture. Okay? So it's important that your sock is made of certain fibers.
And what fibers?
Okay? That's a good question. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm buying a merino wool sock. And they think it is merino wool.
Yeah.
But it isn't only merino wool, because it can't be. So when you make a sock, you have to have either a polyester or nylon skeleton for the merino to hold on to. And this is why all socks are blends. Okay, now some of them might be a blend of 3 products or 4 products, but what you're always going to have is nylon or polyester.
Yeah.
And you're going to have an elastic. So that's either going to be elastane or lycra in most cases.
And you have to have wool.
For it to make your foot warm, you need wool. Okay, now a lot of people, merino wool, alpaca, cashmere, all these different wools. The way the wool works is as your foot produces the moisture, the wool can absorb up to 30% its dry weight in moisture. And at that point, as that moisture is coming out your foot, it's evaporating. So if you think of a Gore-Tex advert showing moisture traveling through a Gore-Tex layer, it's evaporated sweat that comes through, right? So think the same kind of thing. As the moisture goes into the wool, it starts to evaporate. There is a molecular reaction, and the wool warms that moisture, heating your foot up.
Yeah.
And that's what allows that moisture then to travel out of the sock, keeping your foot dry.
Yeah.
Because if your foot gets wet,
Yeah.
your foot will get colder something like 24 times faster than if it's dry.
Yeah.
So you get, if you've got a sock that's not gonna, one, pull the moisture away from you, two, heat that moisture up and then move it away from the body, that's why you get an extremely cold foot. Okay? So do ski socks keep you warm? Yes, if you've got a sock that has got some SmartWool in the blend.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
As I say, a pair of just cotton
Yeah,
socks
I knew
wouldn't
that.
do
That's
it.
important.
Yeah.
It's got wool in it.
Yeah.
And oh, you want to ramble on? Okay.
No, you can ask me the question.
Does a sock needs to be thin or thick?
This is a very good question,
I
Val.
know.
And he's not written any of these down. He's doing it all on his own. So it all depends. Okay, the thinner the sock, the more the moisture is going to travel through quicker. Okay, and for us with ski boot fit, the thinner the sock, the better the fit to the boot. However, if you had a relatively skinny foot and you need to take up a little bit of space, and socks are not going to fill a massive amount of space in a boot, but you can wear a more medium to thicker sock. Okay, and so for instance, this is a medium sock. Okay,
So let's show my
you
sock.
can. What have you
I've
got?
got a very thin one.
Yeah. So yours is the thinnest kind of sock we would have. Okay, which has got no padding around the heel
nothing.
or the toes. Okay,
It's like a foot, you know,
it's
for
almost
football.
like it's almost like a tight. Isn't it?
Yeah, because I think also like I've thought this idea like a year ago, so to buy loads of football socks, and I just sell them as ski socks because basically they are now. So it's basically almost like a football sock.
So the thinnest
with some if you put like some wool in it,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic sock.
But the thinnest socks are like the sock you've got on.
Yeah.
Okay. This one, which is a medium, has got a little bit of reinforcement on the toe. It's got a little bit of reinforcement on the heel, and then it's got a different kind of stitch over the top of the foot where it needs to almost be elasticated and shape. Now,
Did you wash
the
them?
thicker, it's just come off the radiator, although it's still covered in dog hair. The thicker version of this area and the heel area would obviously be a thicker amount of padding, and there could be padding in other places around the Achilles and things. So, yes, thin socks, closest possible fit, quickest moisture transfer, medium, still good moisture transfer, is going to hold on to some of that moisture to warm it up. A thicker sock is potentially a good thing if you've got a very narrow foot or a very shallow foot, because it will take up a little bit of space. And also, if you are someone who runs hot, opt for the thinnest possible sock. If you are someone who runs cold, opt for a slightly thicker sock.
Correct.
Okay?
That's why. Because you need also thinner socks can keep your foot warmer than thicker socks. But it depends a little bit on
most of that is because of that wicking property and keeping your foot drier for longer, so you don't get that accelerated coldness that we talked about.
Yeah.
Okay. As we said, all socks are blends. So this is 36% merino. It's then
Did you Google this?
64. No, I got it off the website of Teco Life, by the way. I don't get paid for wearing them, and I pay full price for them, unlike other skiers out there that probably just get given socks, I guess. I've got it written down. 36% merino, 64% nylon, and then 2% of the elastine. The higher the portion of merino or SmartWool, the more expensive the sock's going to be. And again, you'll see on the tag of a lot of socks, it says made with merino wool.
Correct.
Have a look at the percentage. Yeah. It might say 6%.
It might say 2%.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the cheaper socks are going to be less SmartWool. The more expensive are going to be more.
Yeah, but also it doesn't make, because socks nowadays, like my socks I'm wearing, also not getting paid of anything. You know, we don't get paid from anyone. We're just really independent. So this is, what's it, the brand Boot Dog, isn't it? Yeah, I like them because they're tight, keep my feet warm. It's also like, because we go traveling so much up and down, they're a little bit like compression socks. So I like them, but they're €40.
Yeah,
normal price. I get them a little bit cheaper in the sport shop.
Discount, yeah.
I get a bit of a skin stock discount. But it's 40 euros. I think it's ridiculous because I know how much they produce them for. About.
Yeah, but it's
It
like anything,
is.
isn't it? But
No, yeah, I understand
but the
that.
thing is,
But
you
but
don't need
why?
you don't need 6 pair of 40 euro socks. You can have 2 pair
I do.
because again, if they've got a smart wool in them, the antifungal, antibacteria, so you
Yeah.
can wear them for 2 or 3 days before they would start to
Start to
smell.
smell.
So if you're going on if you're a tourist skier and you're going on holiday for a week, you can get away with 2 pair of socks. So go and buy two 40 euro pair of socks because they're going to be a lot better than buying 6 15 euro pairs
Yes.
of socks. And you can always give them a quick wash, throw them on the radiator, and you've got a fresh pair for the last couple of days. Now, I think I've got 12 pair of these now, so I can get through 2 weeks without having to wash a sock. But I could get through, when we go to Italy, I'll probably take 3 pair with me rather than taking 6 pairs,
Yeah.
because I just don't need to carry 6 pairs of socks. And again, I'll do what we're skiing for
Well,
in
the
Italy,
thing
6
is as
days,
well, what
2
people,
2 days with each pair.
because what people don't, people normally take one pair of ski socks with them on holiday. Really.
Really? I used to take 6.
Yeah, well, most of the people take one, maybe two, but one or two. And mainly thick ones,
Yeah.
thick and cheap ones. So, what is the disadvantages for thick and cheap ones? Your boots start to stink if you have your own boots, huh?
Yep.
Most people are in a rental boot, but so they smell nice when you pick them up, but after day one they start to stink. But
Yep.
okay, that's one. What else is the why do people buy thick socks?
I think that they think it's going to be warmer.
Yeah,
They
correct.
think it's going to be more comfortable.
Yeah, which
Where
no,
again, if the boot is a good fitting boot, you don't want that thickness in the sock because
no.
that's going to cause pressure points. What you also don't want, which is funny because when I started skiing, this is what we all had, because you went down C&A's and you bought a 3 pack of tube socks, and tube socks are not good in a ski boot. Okay, you need that sizing around the heel and the toes. You don't need it around the forefoot and obviously the calf. Yeah, where a tube sock is one thickness throughout, and therefore that can cause problems. You also don't want a sock, and the ski sock manufacturers who are making technical ski socks will make socks that are slippy. You do not want a sock that grips. Okay?
Yeah,
Or
'cause
is it
it's a
the way?
pain. It's a pain getting out and in your boot. It's a real pain.
Hang on, have I got that back to front?
No,
You want one that grips. No, yeah,
no,
there it is. You want the socks they make are grippy, not slippy.
no, slippy.
No, it's grippy.
It's slippy.
Grippy, not slippy.
Look,
Then
super slippy. Because you want to slip in the boot and out of the boot. If you get a grippy sock, it's like you can't, and the sock pulls off. Or you know, or do
I think they want to be
this?
grippy, not slippy. I've not written it down in my notes.
Look,
But
this is
grippy.
no man.
It is. It's grippy.
Touching your sock.
It just come out the wash. You can smell the powder.
Whatever, grippy or slippy. But anyways, you want to have a sock which you can slide in the boot nicely in and nicely out.
And another advantage of a better well-made sock is a seamless toe box, because you don't want to have that seam, because whenever you have the seam, there's always that little bit of cotton on either side, and that will really rub on your on the toes, either side of your toes, and really cause irritation.
So what else is important on the socks, Mr. El Bundy?
Looking at my notes, I think we've covered most of the stuff, you know.
And what about
the other thing?
if you have really, what for people who are really having cold feet, because that's always the thing.
Yeah.
I'm cold feet, and especially now with the boots nowadays.
Yep.
It's cold feet. The plastic, we talked about this, with volume and flex index, which is all like blah blah, because the thicker the plastic, the heavier the boot, the more firm, but loads of boots are lighter, thinner plastic. The fit might be a bit wrong, whatever, blah 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 blah. The only thing what really helps against cold feet are electric socks.
Yeah,
And that's really, so you've got the insoles.
Yep.
They're crap, really, I think.
I didn't get on with the insoles. Couldn't feel a difference.
Yeah,
Couldn't feel a difference.
And then you're charging it. You've got a neoprene sock over your boot, which helps a little bit.
Yeah.
But the best are, and they are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They're about 180 euros, 200 euros now. You can get cheaper ones, but let's say between 150 and 200 euros.
Yeah.
But they are good socks and they really keep your feet
Yeah.
warm. So if you have cold feet,
Yeah.
I
Electric
would
socks.
Electric
Yeah.
socks.
And what
They're
you'll
really
find
good.
is that the
They're really good.
the
Yeah.
cheaper electric socks might not have that wool in there, so you want to make sure they've still got that moisture wicking property, because if you've got an electric sock on and your foot is warm, your foot is still going to sweat, and it will get cold if your foot stays wet. So that sock, even though it's electric, still needs to move the moisture away. So the more expensive, the better the quality of the sock and the electrical kit that's in there is going to be. The more you spend, the battery is going to get smaller, and you're also going to find that you can control them with your mobile phone. So you don't have to keep pulling your trousers up to turn them up or down with the little button. You can control them via Bluetooth. You can turn the left one up or down, the right one up or down independently. But yeah, if you and this is good for people who've got Raynaud's phenomena, Raynaud's disorder, however you call it. Diabetic people can suffer from very cold feet. People with poor circulation, and obviously in a ski boot, if you've already got poor circulation, you're putting yourself in a ski boot that's tight, then that's going to create even more of a circulatory issue, and all of those things would be, is that the right word? Would be helped with an electric sock.
But the most important thing is
ski lessons.
Keep your feet dry. So keep the boots dry. So if your boot is wet and cold, of course you're gonna get cold feet. That's why. Sorry. That's why. Take the inner boot out. Put it on a radiator if you don't have boot heaters in the hotel or wherever you're staying, or leave them maybe in the sports shop. If there's a good sports shop, you can leave your stuff there for free and they've got the boot dryers. Or you can buy boot dryers and bring them with you. Some are working really well, some not so. Sorry, and but keep them dry. Put the boots on a radiator or whatever if you don't know how to take the inner boot out. But really, the colder your feet are, it also has to do if your boot is wet, and especially the inner boot, you get cold feet.
Yeah. So if your boot's wet in the morning, you get cold feet. But also, if your boot is colder, if you can put on a warm boot. So if I've got my boots with me at home, if I'm driving to the glacier, I put them in the footwell of the passenger seat and bang the heating on, blowing down onto them all the way to the glacier. So when I get out the car, I'm putting my foot into a warm boot. Yeah. Or if I'm driving from home to the Maasgogel, I'll heat the boots up in the car. Right. If I'm leaving them on the glacier, then obviously they're warm anyway.
I just leave my stuff up there.
Well, I know, but when you're not up there and you're down here,
I know, just joking.
Or if I'm going to Saddleback,
dry your boots out. They stink less because once they get damp and wet, they start to stink. Change your socks regularly, but dry your boots out. That's really important.
And also, when you're taking that inner out, also look inside the shell, because you'll quite find in the toe box or in the heel under the board. Yeah, there's moisture. Because the snow crystals can get in. You'll quite often see people with gaffer tape over the front of their ski boot in a effort to try and keep the snow out. But it kind of doesn't really matter what you do. Crystals are going to get in there, and then they melt. They become moisture. And what you'll quite often find is you'll take your ski boot inner out, and the outer of the inner is wet. Yeah, and that's a combination of the sweat vaporizing and coming out, and the snow going in, which all results in a cold foot in the end.
I didn't think this would be a quite interesting podcast talking about crappy socks.
Mate, there's a lot more. Socks. There's a lot more to socks than meets the eye.
The socks.
So just remember, 200 mils of water per foot, of moisture per foot,
disgusting.
And a question.
Fucking rank.
Imagine how much your body is losing in bed at night when you've got your electric blanket on. Yeah, surprised you're not or electrocuted. So here's a question for you, just to end, Wouter. When do you not sweat?
I think you always sweat, don't you?
When do you not? When you're dead.
Yes.
But even when you die, your body will continue sweating for a space of time, and then it will stop.
Have you just looked this up on Google? Just now, whipping out the blah, blah, blah,
I spoke to a sock expert years ago.
Yeah, but he doesn't say like about the.
He does.
Oh, he told you that.
Yeah, he told me
Who
that.
was this
And then
sock
the other thing,
expert? Who
it's
was this?
Gordon Fraser from Techo Life.
Who was this?
Techo Life.
So you do get paid for this?
No.
Yes.
And I bought all of the socks.
Well, why are you mentioning his name?
Because you just asked me who I spoke to. Gordon Fraser from Techo Socks. He is an award-winning
It sounds
sock.
like you're
He's an award-winning sock and footwear guy, and he was involved with the original
Yeah, but don't you
SmartWool.
think it's a bit of bullshit and marketing and blah 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 blah?
But then it's proven because you've got like study labs in Graz University, and Gore-Tex have got labs as well, and they're looking at, is the wool retaining heat? Is the wool warming up? Is the moisture moving away? So there has to be an element of truth in what they say.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I think is important to mention is the one thing that ruins ski socks the most.
What's that?
I'm asking you, what's the one thing that ruins your ski socks?
Probably.
Answers below.
I don't know.
Toenails.
Ah.
If you cut your toenails,
yeah, of course.
if you don't cut your toenails, they are gonna poke through. They're gonna because your toenails are sharp, so they cut the fibers. And if you do cut your toenails, but you have a jagged bit, that is gonna razor slice through the socks, and this is why you get holes in the end of your socks. So your nail maintenance is quite important. I always used to say to my family members when we went skiing, trim your toenails before we go skiing. They always used to think I was taking the mickey. There we go. So socks are interesting, right?
It is actually good. Yeah. And especially because if you have cold feet, loads of people always say, "Oh, I got cold feet in my." Yeah, it's the ski socks, and I think an electric ski socks, and keep your boots dry.
Yep. And there is a difference between ski socks and snowboard socks, and there is a big difference between hiking socks and ski socks, and all your other performance socks. They are very, very different. There we go.
All right, Annie. Yeah, I've learned something today.
Good.
It's good.
And if it's no Camp Europe saying, go and buy some decent socks.
And I'm saying, let's stop this.
Should we make some socks and start selling socks?
I've thought about it.
We could do.
I thought
candy socks.
Yes, candy socks.
Candy socks from Snow Camp Europe.
And with the logo on it.
Yeah.
Cool, isn't it?
But no one will ever see the logo because it's in a ski boot. Bye for now, everybody.
Oh, terrible.